Okay, we're recording.
When I come home and it's after 12, Mama's waiting up to give me well. She gets her shook out of shape.
Shook out of shape,
She gets her shook out of shape.
doing the twist.
She slips the disc when she does a twist. She gets her shook out of shape. Oh, then she says, little girl, where you been? You should have been home about a 10:30. She gets her shook out of shape.
Shook out of shape.
She gets her shook out of shape.
And welcome back to season 2 of BLACKFRAME, the podcast. You're here with your favorite host, Ivy Reese, and I'm joined by my co-host.
Marco Avila.
It took you a while to remember your
I
name.
know. I was gonna try to say something else because
Are you partying
I'm
too
their
much?
favorite. I'm their favorite co-host. I was trying to figure out how to
I don't know what
bring it
lie.
back to me.
That's a lie. But yes, we're back. How do you feel, season 2?
Weird because it's season 2, even though it's been more than 2 years.
I know, right?
But yeah, season 2.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. And we've been talking about like what we want to do with this podcast and
What we want to do
what
with
we
life.
want in life. But I'm excited. I'm excited about some of the films we discussed and some of the things that we were discussing of branching on. So we'll go into that later. But
Yes,
Marco,
season 2.
new year, new us. What is up? 2022.
You know, it's 2022. We're still alive.
I know. I'm surprised actually.
You're still alive.
Oh gosh,
That's a big plus. That's a big unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Season. I don't know. That's all I have.
Marco, you're forgetting like the most important thing though.
Movies.
Movies, but what did we celebrate just recently?
Love.
I don't know. What
Christmas.
Well, we celebrated Christmas, but it's better than Christmas. We celebrated our birthdays.
Oh, yeah. You celebrated our birthday.
I celebrated hard. I celebrated for both of us.
No, you celebrated for 5 people.
I did. Me,
And we
you,
only
the
know
sun, the
like
ghost,
3
and the Holy
different people
Spirit.
with the same birthday. So you
I know.
celebrated for extra people.
Well, I had to because nobody else was like kind of like celebrating.
Yeah, I
so
mean,
I felt
forget.
bad.
I forget it's my birthday, so.
It's the
Yeah.
same as mine.
Which is how I remember, because you remind me.
I do.
Exactly.
I called you
And
and,
you
I told you
celebrate
happy
for
birthday.
us.
You're like, it's my birthday. I was like, yeah, because it's mine too.
That's what I said.
Whatever. But
Season 2.
Season 2. All right. So we're talking about making this season better, grand, so good that it's bad. I don't
More
know.
constant.
More constant. Sorry, guys. Just a very busy year last year. But
Mostly sickly year.
yeah, it was.
Well, for you.
I know. I was sick a lot. Sucks.
But yeah. Hopefully there'll be like, let's see, 12 months out of the year, so at least 12 episodes. For
I know.
Sure, this year, the year. No, we're supposed to do more twice. Okay, so 24 episodes this year.
Wow, Marco. You're
See,
already
we
blowing
changed
it.
so many things during our first season.
We did.
It's,
Hey, but we're trying to get better.
But this is perfectly planned, though. We are on track to the new plan
I know.
for sure. I just don't remember my numbers very well. But hey, season 2.
Season 2. All right, so let's just start off.
Yeah, let's get back to the basics, which is BLACKFRAME, the podcast, deals with movies.
It does, and our rambling.
That's
That's
what
pretty
we're
much
here
the basis
for.
of this podcast.
Let's get straight to like the stuff that people want to listen to.
All right.
Your love life, no, your tragic life,
Actually, I
and
have
how
a
any
lot.
movie
It did.
relates to you,
It does.
and somehow relates to your tragic adolescence or childhood.
But I'm going to make a bet right now, starting on our first episode.
okay,
I will not compare or bring up, as much as I want to, the Rocky Horror Picture Show for season 2.
all right.
If I
What?
mess up,
There you go. What are we betting?
I don't
here?
know. What should we bet? If I mess up and I bring it up at any
See,
point.
usually I would bet like an alcoholic shot, but you have an issue. So
I know. That's just like more
just-
fun for me.
That's
but
a reward.
I don't know. We got to figure out a bet. Maybe some of our listeners will figure out a bet for me. But
Yeah,
I will not.
Send us a note, a comment, or however you can contact us to let us know what you should do.
If you know me personally, just text me. But yes, we will make a bet that I will not bring it up. Next episode is when it starts.
Okay.
Well, we gotta hear what people have to
Well,
say.
yeah, I'm assuming that that means you already have some sort of reference or comment for this movie.
I did.
That's why you want to start on the next one.
Yeah, let's start the next one. No, I'm gonna train today, but next episode, moving out, I'm not going to bring up the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's gonna be hard.
That is, yeah.
It will.
As long as you keep bringing up, the sad, horrible stories of your childhood.
Oh, that's gonna come
again.
given.
That's pretty much
a
the only
given.
reason I feel people listen to this.
I know, they're like, what is up in Ivy's life today?
Yeah. Well, not today, in the past.
Well, yeah. Why is she like that? And then they feel bad for me.
Like, this podcast should really just be a drinking game.
It should.
Every time Ivy brings up some repressed or horrible memory.
Now I'm just gonna cry. Like, I'm just thinking about it now.
Every time Ivy brings up either Rocky Horror Picture Show or how a movie reminds her of something about her childhood or adolescence, that's you drink then.
Again, that's just a
It'd be
reward.
like 45 to 50 minutes worth of drinking.
I know. It's gonna be just like my whole week of my birthday. But anyway,
That's our twist. That should be our twist,
what a twist!
on the new season. We just drink.
I'm down. I'm so down.
I drink, you don't. How about that?
Okay, that's
That
not
would
fun
be
at all.
That would be the punishment.
Fine.
Okay. So, should we do the movie?
Yes.
Or should we just keep rambling?
No. Let's do the movie
just
because
be like, we
I'm
didn't
gonna
actually-
ramble through this movie anyway.
Maybe next time, if we don't actually watch a movie, we'll just ramble.
I'm down it.
Yeah.
But okay, so we watched a movie you actually picked for me, and I watched it.
Oh, I picked it for both of us.
Well, yeah,
Not
but
like
I had
only you
never.
watched
I
it.
didn't pick one because I forgot, and that's just my life story. But you picked this one.
Yeah, let's go with that story.
I know, right? You picked this one. So Marco, you always make me describe what movies are about and the summaries. Blah, blah, blah. Now it
Yes.
is your turn, but you can't read the summary. You have to actually, in the top of your head,
Like, here's the thing. I won't read the summary, but I do need to read
the references.
No, the
Cliff
the
notes?
title, because it's so freaking long.
All right.
It's hard to remember off the top of your head the whole title.
I know.
But yeah, so the movie. Am I doing?
Yeah,
can I-
you're gonna.
okay.
You're
The
gonna tell
movie
me.
is called, and here it is:
Drum roll.
The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies.
That is literally the title.
One more time. The incredibly. Let me do a voice. The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies.
Incredible is the word for the world's first monster musical. See in magnificent Eastman color the daring, dancing, enticing, and horrifying. The incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed up zombies.
Obey.
Who is the woman branded in birth wearing the wart of horror? The world's first monster musical. The incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed up zombies.
It's a stupid name.
No, I actually thought it was a clever name. That would.
The
If I had a,
Incredibly.
Yeah.
It's like that Harry Potter offshoot movies.
those are clever names.
Incredible Beasts.
Yeah. Oh, Fantastic Beasts.
Fantastic Beasts.
Wow.
Except this has like the subtitle and the slogan all in the same thing.
All right. So I'll give you. You know what? I'll give you 15 seconds. No, 20 seconds. 20 seconds to summarize what the movie is about.
Okay.
With
Ready?
such a long title. And go.
The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies is a movie about a stupid carnival person where they can control and hypnotize people to do their bidding. Is that my count?
That's your 10-second count.
So they hypnotize this guy. He kills a couple of people, and then he tries to kill them all. And then all the zombies get out, and then they kill everyone.
Stop. That was actually really good.
It's a very stupid movie.
To sum it up, it's a stupid movie.
What I said doesn't make sense, but the movie doesn't make sense.
It didn't. I watched it, and I think we talked a little bit about it before. We were kind of confused. But
Like,
it
the
was
movie
still...
is as confusing as the title. Again, it's the incredibly strange creatures. So they're not strange creatures until they become zombies, but okay. It's the strange creatures who stop living, so apparently they're dead, and then become mixed up zombies. So it's like, why are they mixed up? Of course, they're mixed up. They're zombies, and of course they died before. You can't be not dead and be a zombie.
That sounds like a reference to, what was it, Scary Movie 4? How are they zombies if they're dead? You can't be dead. Remember that part?
I did not watch that movie.
Oh,
It's a scary movie.
it's funny.
I watched the first two and I had enough.
I loved all the scary movies. I don't know why. I did.
I stopped liking watching all the movies they were making references to. So I stopped wanting to watch scary movie.
I watched them just because I like
Either that or I liked the movies that they were
comedy.
making. Either the movies that they were making fun of, I liked too much. Like, I didn't want to.
Oh, you got sentimental? that they were
No, it
making
was
fun
like,
of
I
your
don't want to see what
movies?
they do with it. Because it's going to be some gross reference.
It was going to be funny. But anyway, so yeah, you summed it up. That was good. You do it a lot better than I do. I'll ramble for like ever.
Because yes, I can speak a little better than you.
I can speak. I just tend to ramble. Like, that's my problem. I go from one story to the next, go back to that story, and then
Okay, there you
move
go.
on. But yeah, so we watched the long ass title.
The short title is The Incredibly Strange Creatures.
Yes, we watched this one. And before we really dig into it, overly, like, at the beginning of it, were you excited to watch it? Like, did it get you excited to watch it?
So here's why I chose this movie.
Okay.
It's from the 1960s, so that's always a good laugh. But it was it's under the category of horror musical. So we've had very good success for this podcast when we wind up with a movie that's both a horror movie and a musical movie.
True.
Like, those have usually been our favorites. So I thought, it's a horror musical and it has a long, weird, stupid title. So this should be good. So that's why I went with it, because I thought it was gonna be your more usual musical
Okay.
with horror in it. It wasn't,
No.
but that's why I chose it.
Okay, I mean, I see where the confusion came in about it being a musical, which we'll dive into it in a bit, but were you at least the first scene that pops out excited to watch it?
I wasn't excited, but I was interested. I'm like, okay, let's see where this is going. Because also by the time I started watching it, I had already seen a little bit of the Wikipedia page on it. And I had gotten as far on the Wikipedia article on it to the part where it says that this is considered one of the worst movies ever made. So I wasn't excited to watch the movie because I thought it was a good movie. I was more like intrigued as to how bad this movie was going to be.
So you already had it in your head it was bad.
I had already gone to the part where like, this is one of the worst movies ever made, which was one of those like,
Yeah, okay.
But it's the 60s.
It happens.
It was like, it can't, it's gonna be at least a funny bad movie.
You see, when you told me to watch this movie, I didn't know that you got it from the worst movies ever made.
Well,
kinda.
I didn't get it from that list. I googled horror musicals,
Okay.
and that one came up, and again, it had like a funny enough title. Like, oh yeah, that should be good. And it's a musical from the 60s, so the music is gonna be at least funny.
Well, it wasn't really funny. It was actually really good. I even told you, I was like, they
You
need
want
to
the
make this.
soundtrack?
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
the soundtrack. I always want the soundtrack.
And
to
we'll get to that,
anything.
but it's not really a musical soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's just songs. But What did you think? Were you excited?
I mean,
Were you like, what the hell did he choose this time?
well, when you told me the title, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm down for it. When the opening scene came out, I was like, okay, it's starting, you know, it's coming up. And then I just remember it going from like carnival to ladies to the fortune teller and a drunk guy. And then I was like, okay, dude's drunk. Story, what is it? Fortune teller wants to get a little and she didn't. She got mad. And then the drunk guy's like, man, like, I like your sister and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what, dude? I feel that because
Story of your life.
story of my life. Everybody wanted anybody else but me. Whatever. But we won't dig into my childhood. Anyway. Drink. Oh, man. But yeah, so it was interesting to see where it was going. But then, yeah, maybe within 10 minutes of the film, I got lost.
Well, it's like 5 minutes of the first scene, and then 10 minutes of the credits.
Oh, yeah.
That's the part that I didn't get. Like, why would you not put those 5 minutes of credits right at the beginning? Because it kind of, you know, the
just
movie
dives into it.
Yeah, because the movie starts with that setup, with that scene setup, and then it kind of throws it off when you just have like 5 more minutes of credits with nothing but, you know, like a picture. So I was like, okay, maybe if it wasn't as long, it wouldn't throw it off balance so much. But, you know,
I mean,
it's one of those very, very low budget independent movies from the 60s, so you can't ask too much for it.
you see, when I was watching it, though, I noticed a very tremendous amount of attractive women. And I was like, initially I was like, this is why Marco picked this movie.
Oh.
I was like, of course he picked this movie.
No, I only saw the poster. The poster didn't really have any indication of that.
Oh, but when you saw it, you were like, hey, this is just a plus.
Not really, because most of those women die really fast.
Damn women.
And you only see, like, let's call it skin, like, once in the movie.
I know. I was hoping to see at least one nip, but I didn't.
But, I mean, yeah, there were some pretty women. That's for sure.
Oh, you're just being modest now. You're just like,
Well, I
they're
think-
attractive.
I think the reason why I go like that is because it was weird. Like, they popped out a lot more. Because
Yeah.
everything else in the movie is so low quality. And I was like, how did they get such a pretty woman to be in this?
Yes.
You know, they didn't fit. But then again, there's always been like struggling actors, I guess.
True. But, okay, so the movie itself, we talk about a lot about how it wasn't really, I guess, a musical. Because, I mean, the music starts popping out at the beginning of the film anyway.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really a musical.
Yeah, because so what we think of musicals is the characters start
Dancing, singing.
and singing, at least singing. You know, there's instead of dialogue, it's a song.
Yeah. It's like High School Musical.
That's usually what a musical is.
It's the way Marco wakes up in the morning. He starts singing while he's like pouring his coffee about how he's going to have such a tremendous day today.
Clearly, you don't know me at all because
No.
I don't drink coffee.
Well, I was trying to think of something. Wakes up in the morning, drinks water. That's boring. Like, at least coffee or an espresso.
You don't even drink espresso.
No, I hate
in the
coffee.
mornings.
And I don't drink anything in the morning. I just wake up and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm awake. Where's the candy at? Like, that's
Yeah,
me.
because you wake up like 10 minutes before you have to go to work.
No. I do and I don't. It depends on the day.
But yeah. So yeah, this wasn't really a musical. There was musical numbers in it, and by that we mean singers on a stage singing.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. You can't tell. Like, I assume it's called a musical because of that, and I assume it means the songs they were singing were original songs for the movie.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, otherwise they were just singing random songs from the era, in which case it wouldn't be a musical, right?
That's true. But you know what? Like, going back to how I was like, oh, this, they really need to make a soundtrack for this. I actually
like the
really
songs?
liked the songs. Like, it was just up my alley.
When I come home and it's after 12, Mama's waiting up to give me well. She gets her shook out of shape.
Shook out of shape.
She gets her shook out of shape.
Doing the twist.
She slips the disc when she does a twist. She gets her shook out of shape. Oh, then she says, little girl, where you been? You should have been home about 10:30. She gets her shook out of shape.
Shook out of shape.
She gets her shook out of shape.
Doing the twist.
She slips the disc when she does a twist. She gets her shook out of shape.
I think it's anytime I listen to music, there's two things that I look for: lyrics and beat. And I love.
And if a woman's voice.
And
is
if a woman's
low,
voice is low and it sounds more like a man, that, yeah, I love it. But the lyrics, for some reason, like, it's all about, I guess, like, love and, like, I don't know. I noticed it was a little bit about love, a little bit about pain. And I was like, oh my God, I feel it.
Oh.
I feel that.
It only when I kiss someone that's not you. It hurts when I embrace and smile because I know all the while it's not you. I was pretending that our ending was just one of those things, and now I'm struggling to hide the tears that lose me
I was listening to the music.
I can tell. I was not.
I was like, girl, I went through that heartbreak. I feel that. Like, it was funny.
Yeah, I
to
didn't pay that much attention to the lyrics. I think it also has to do that the video that I watched it on, there weren't any closed captioning for the songs.
Oh, okay.
So it, for some reason, if I'm watching something that has closed captioning or captions, subtitles, I'll read it, and if it doesn't have subtitles, I assume it's just not important.
Yeah.
So I don't pay attention to it. Which is why sometimes I have to make sure I turn off the subtitles. If it's like a movie that I'm watching for the first time or something. Because I know
You're going to get too caught up.
I'm going to get caught up on reading what they're saying
Yeah.
instead of actually just looking at what's happening.
Yeah, I can't multitask either.
It's not that I can't multitask, but sometimes if someone has an accent or something, I don't catch everything they're saying. So I'll read the subtitles, and then I get stuck reading, following the dialogue with the subtitles, and I don't really... Either way, yeah. I stopped focusing on the movie.
Right. Well, I mean, let's go into a trivia fact about the musicals.
Oh, yeah.
And all that.
So, here's trivia with Ivy.
Hello. So all the music numbers that they did in the film and it goes from like beginning, middle, and end. They have musical numbers, they have dance numbers. All of those musical and dance numbers were actually shot in one day. Interesting, right? Because it's funny. I would think that they shoot things kind of like chronologically so that, I don't know, that's how I function.
I've never shot
Because
anything chronologically.
One of the things that I noticed is that in one of the musical numbers, so it's a carnival, and in the carnival, there's like this tent that holds all these women, and these women put on like dance and musical stuff.
They say it's a carnival, but it definitely looked like a very established building.
Yeah, it did,
Because
right?
there was a green room, there was like
Exactly.
locker rooms.
I was like, someone built this
dressing
not in a
rooms.
day.
Like, this is not a carnival. It looks like a, either way.
Yeah. But so there's like this, I guess, quote unquote tent that holds where these women perform and sing and whatnot.
The stage.
The stage. And the guy that actually, I guess, is in charge of that tent, spoiler alert, towards the middle of the film, he dies. But then in another musical number after he dies, he's there standing there like he was still alive. That's why I could tell all of this stuff was shot in a day.
Oh, is that the dancer? The blondie?
Was it the blonde? No, it wasn't the... Yes, it was the blondie.
Okay.
I like that song too. I forgot
That's
how
the
it
name
goes.
of a song?
No. I forgot the name of it, but it was
the
like...
one they were dancing to.
Yeah. But he's just standing there in the background, like with his hands crossed, watching the girls. And I was like, yo, bro, didn't you just die?
He was probably not even supposed to be in the shot.
Probably, and he was.
Like,
But-
oh, yeah, you couldn't see him. Oh, yes, you could.
But I noticed that actually right away before I even read trivia.
But that makes sense. Usually you just get the location.
Mm-hmm.
You shoot everything like the day off. Because you can only have the location for so much time. So if you can cram everything on the same day, you cram everything you're supposed to shoot at that location that same day.
Well, that makes sense. But you
Yeah,
would want to
and-
actually make sure that maybe people that are supposed to be dead should be dead.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yes, that's what's supposed to be happening. That's why you have some, people to do that.
But then again, I'm giving this film too
Continuity.
much credit.
Yeah, so you have to remember this. Okay. So trivia with Marco.
Ándale, Marco. Tell me some trivia.
This movie is in the list of multiple people's list of one of the worst movies ever made.
Right.
So whatever we're doing, whatever criticizing, whatever we ever say that, like, how did they not realize this? You have to remember, we're not the first ones to point that out because this is literally one of the worst movies ever made.
I know, but I like to be the person to say it, I just want to be like, hey, like, that's not supposed to happen.
And I'm saying, of course, like, we shouldn't be too surprised here, given that this is one of the worst movies ever made. But yeah, it's fun stuff.
But like I said, like in that trivia being that they shot it all in one day and going back to the dancing parts, I actually felt like, okay, so there is another trivia to it, which give me 2 seconds to get there, but
That's what she said.
give me 2 seconds and I'm there. They were really bad dancers. Like terrible dancers.
The actual dancers?
Yeah, like the ladies that are performing in that tent, they were like really not that good. Like they were not
Really?
coordinated. No,
Oh, I thought they looked okay.
no, they were bad. And I noticed this before reading trivia. I noticed it right away. I was like, whoa, girl, like I dance better drunk on a dance floor
They
than
came-
you do sober
They
for a
came
dance
up with
number.
it that same day or what?
Actually, I think they actually try to coordinate people. I don't think it was just a day. I think they're just really bad.
Oh, okay.
But going to another trivia fact on the dance numbers.
Trivia with Ivy.
So the director, who you had actually told me is also the one that wrote, starred, and directed. So he's the guy that plays Jerry in the film. So he actually initially wanted the women to chew bubble gum. Weird. He wanted women that were dancing to chew bubble gum so that the audience was actually distracted by their mouths and not focused on their footwork because their footwork was just that bad.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That is bad.
And I was like, well, I would be distracted by a really hot woman like chewing gum like she's a trucker. But yeah, like I just noticed right
I
away.
think I was distracted by the fact that they were cute.
Well, they were cute. Some of them were kind of like, no offense, but
Then again, I may have spent a fair amount of time while the movie was playing teasing this episode on Instagram.
I
So I may have not been actually watching the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah, this is that type of movie where either you watch it multiple times to try to get it, or you just step out and let it happen because you know it doesn't make sense.
No.
Yeah, the weird thing about that guy is you can tell when he wrote it, there was like a very artistic vision to this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very artsy in some places, very surreal.
I was just
But
thinking
then-
avant-garde.
But then the actual acting in the regular scenes are just like, why? You know, it's like something that we would be able to shoot right now
Okay.
without much effort. You know, but then there's like the dancing scenes. The one that got me was after the main guy turns into a zombie, but not really, because he like wakes up in the morning at home. He there's like this weird dream sequence, and he's like having a nightmare because he killed someone but he barely remembers.
Oh yeah.
And there's this very surreal dream where it's kind of like a dancing sequence, and like he's running around the stage and all the dancers are there and he's bumping into all of them, and he's trying to remember and blah blah blah. His face is painted, and at some point he starts dancing himself. Like instead of bumping into people, he's like twirling and doing
dancing.
pirouettes and stuff. I was like, why? It's just so. And then you go back to like the regular day,
Yeah.
to the regular acting and the regular day shooting. And it's like so weird. It's just they don't match. But it's like there's some places where you can tell he really wanted to do something artsy.
And I can
but
see
then
that.
you get the other stuff like, dude, this doesn't match. You want to be
Yeah.
artsy, you gotta be artsy everywhere.
I feel like they were okay. So we did an episode on remember the 500 fingers or 5,000 fingers of Dr. T.
Yes.
Remember that episode? So we did that movie, and they actually do that a lot. It's also a musical. They do that a lot where they have the main character popping in out of nowhere where there's like a musical dance number.
Yeah.
And then they somehow get involved in the musical dance number. And even though they're like acting like they're not part of it, they're kind of like making dance movements as
Yeah.
well. I feel like in this film, that's what they were, I guess, aiming for. It just,
But
yeah,
it
it
doesn't
didn't
come out.
Yeah, it doesn't
because,
come
like,
off that way.
the characters, except for the dancers and the people that are actual performers throughout the movie, it makes sense for them to be dancing. But when these other actors start doing something like dancing and stuff, it's just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you haven't done anything like that in any other point in the film. Why are you doing it now?
Yeah, it was
and then
kind of
you never,
awkward.
then he doesn't do it again. Like,
They could have cut that out.
yeah, it was super long too.
Yeah, there was too many scenes I felt in this movie that there was too many scenes that I felt like didn't need to be in there.
Yeah.
They could have just cut it out. One being that, that little piece of dance number with Jerry, the character. Jerry, the character. But that was one.
Just like Jerry the Seinfeld.
Jerry, the Seinfeld. What is with all these dance numbers? Anyway.
Or Jerry the rat? The mouse.
Jerry?
The mouse.
Oh, Tom and Jerry?
Yeah.
You could have started off that way. I was like, there's a mouse named Jerry at your apartment or your house or what? But anyway. But yeah, like there was just too many scenes that I felt like they could have just cut out. They were scenes that were too long that could have been shortened.
Yeah.
And then there was also scenes where I was kind of like, I don't understand what that is. Like, I don't know what's going on. Because you even said it. You had to go back a lot because you kept thinking you
Well,
missed a lot of things. So did I.
Just at the beginning. And then I realized it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So I just let it roll because, it just doesn't make sense. So I'm just going to let it happen.
So my question is for this film, was it really about zombies or was it really about mind control?
Well, that's the thing. That's the part where the zombies barely make sense. Because, I mean, like the first when they set up the whole movie at the beginning, it kind of makes it sound like they killed the guy,
Yeah.
which then would make sense because then he becomes a zombie because he's dead. But then when he gets to the main part of the movie where they hypnotize this Jerry, he's not dead. He just becomes hypnotized, and they hypnotize him and make him kill someone.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not a zombie, especially because he doesn't even get jailed in their little apartment thingy. Like they send him back home. He wakes up at home, so obviously he's not a zombie because he wakes up like a regular person.
Well,
He was just hypnotized, so that's not
Yeah.
a zombie.
well, no, it technically kind of is. Like, I see what they were going for. Like, I'm about to get really artsy. But, okay, so I see what they were going for. Unfortunately, I think they just combined two different concepts into one, which I think is what threw a lot of people off.
Yeah.
So you have a zombie who's dead and comes back to life, your typical brains kind of zombie. And then you have a zombie that is kind of like hypnotized. Like they don't have a mind of their own kind of zombie. And I see that that's what they were going for. But it just kind of ruined it because then you have like actual zombie looking people.
Yeah, because here's the thing: they never explain anything. They just kind of assume that you understand what's going on. But yeah, at the end of the movie, because you only ever see Jerry doing something, which is killing people because he's been hypnotized all over
kill
again.
people, yeah.
Because of course, why would you go back there? So he kills someone, and at the very end, they try to throw him into the cage with the other zombies, and somehow they don't know how to keep the other zombies away, and all the zombies break out of the cage and start killing everyone.
Don't get me started on that one. Yeah, I remember.
Like, here's the thing: Jerry never became a zombie, but yet all these people that come out of the cage are zombified. Like, they're all like monsters.
Yeah.
Like their faces are disfigured and stuff. And I was like, why?
They should have left that out.
Like, why are these people different?
Yeah.
Why is Jerry not? Why did Jerry not
Maybe he didn't have time
change?
to change. Because it was literally like right then and there. They rescued him.
Yeah, but again,
Según.
they don't show what the difference here is. Like, why the other zombies that have been there longer are like that. And
Yeah.
why, like, it's like nothing made sense at the end. Because, like, oh, there's the horrible looking zombies from the poster
Yeah.
at the end. And, like, at least it's cool because they kill everyone, but
I mean,
I was like, why? Why couldn't you, like, explain at least a little bit
yeah.
so that people aren't confused as to why there's different types of zombies?
See, and that's where I got confused. I mean, again, going back to my artsy mind way of thinking, but see, I kind of got what the director was trying to do. So you have this character, Jerry, and it establishes at the beginning of the film with the girl and the mom. The mom's like, honey, like,
He's a deadbeat.
he's a deadbeat. You don't need to be with him. You can deserve a better man and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, but mom, like, he's so cute and he's a bad boy and a
he's
rebel
like
without a
rebel.
cause.
Although, to be fair, nothing that guy ever did made him look rebellious.
Oh, no, he just looked like an idiot.
Like, he was literally just a deadbeat that was doing nothing.
Yeah, and he says it,
Like,
too.
even he says, like, I don't want to work.
Yeah,
Who
I don't
wants to
wanna
work?
work.
Like, and the roommate is like, maybe to pay rent.
Yeah, go to
You
college.
deadbeat? Like,
He's like, the world is my college.
but it's like, like, if your roommate is telling you maybe get a job,
Yeah.
that's just the nice way of telling you get a job because you gotta pay half the rent.
Like, bro, I ain't gonna
Like,
be paying for you.
Like, it should have been. It was obvious at that point. Like, he's mushing off the roommate.
yeah.
I was like, the roommate's like, dude, you're too nice. You should have kicked this guy out, even if he's your friend. You're obviously paying for everything here. You should kick him out.
But that's the thing, like, Jerry's supposed to be, again, quote unquote, like this character that's a rebel without a cause, likes to have fun. And he says it too. I don't like anyone to tell me what to do. Well, what is it called? Like, moving forward in the film, he becomes a zombie. who
Yeah.
now has to do whatever the fortune teller wants him to do.
Yeah.
So that's my artsy thought on it.
Yeah, there's
But
there's
again,
a little bit of irony. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, the tragedy.
and so like I said, if they would have just kind of excluded the actual zombified looking people and just went with that storyline where it's like, no, it's not actual zombies, it's people just
Yeah.
being controlled.
Here's the thing:
then I
at
would
the
get
end of the movie, he kind of dies and comes back to life, like because he kind of drowns, right? And then they bring him back to
Well,
life or something.
Yeah, so trivia fact. Where's my drum
Uh,
roll? I was like, hey.
Trivia with Ivy.
So the end of the film, you know, he escapes the room, runs away. They go to like, what is it, like a beach? And
Yes.
he's like running like an idiot. Like, I don't know where he was going. And then the girlfriend is like following
Well,
him, the
he's trying
friend,
not
the
to
roommate.
get shot, right?
Yeah,
Because
but
the cops are shooting off.
they're
are
shooting him.
all the
Which, by the
zombies.
way, is police brutality. Like, hello.
Well, they were shooting up zombies, so it makes sense. They're zombies.
Yeah, but this guy obviously didn't look like the rest of them.
Again, that makes no sense. Yeah.
They were profiling. That's
No,
bad.
but it's because he had killed someone, didn't he?
Yeah, they didn't know that yet. Well, at least I didn't see that they
Yeah,
knew
I
that.
think they had already called the cops on him.
Well, anyways, trivia fact is that scene was actually supposed to be longer. That's why it makes no sense. So he's running around in the water.
It was pretty long.
Yeah, well, it was apparently even longer. Because it goes from day to night. And something happens at night that the director was kind of like, nah, it doesn't work this way. We'll just cut it right here. And they literally just cut it to where he comes back after they shoot him. And then he's laying on the beach and then everybody's like crowded around him. And that's the end of the movie. But it's actually longer. Like, I feel like when he died, it was like kind of like those cartoon kind of deaths where it's like, and then like they're dying for like the last 20 minutes of the film and like talking about their lives and stuff. That's what I felt probably the ending should have been like. But so yeah, the director literally just cut it there.
I
So
can
that's
see that.
why.
Yeah, because I mean, I wish they would have shot him and just let him dead. He did kill 2 people.
Yeah, but he
So
didn't
at the end of the
mean
day,
to.
I mean, the way it ends, it definitely doesn't look like he learned anything.
I know. He just looked dumb. Like, oh my God. That character, like, there was parts of him that I liked. That I was like, oh yeah, I like the way he thinks and blah, blah, blah.
God, you would.
You can't tell me what to do. The world is my college. And like, oh, the fact that...
Oh my God, I hated every single one of those lines.
They were funny to me, though. Because I was like... And
They-
then the fact that
they
the
were,
girl...
They were more cringy to me.
A little
like the
bit,
fact
yeah.
that these are the same lines that people have been writing for so long. Like, how can you not tell? These one-liners don't work.
Oh my God.
But yeah.
But
Maybe
yeah,
back in the
so-
60s, there were still fresh lines to say.
Maybe.
Because even today, you will hear those lines in cheesy movies.
Yeah.
In cheesy and bad movies.
But I mean, Jerry's character, I don't know, like when the mom was like, he's no good for you, honey.
I just didn't like him. Just like the way he looks. And
I didn't like the
and
fact-
the way he acted. I just didn't like him.
See, woman to woman, I didn't like the fact that when he goes and picks up the girl from the parents' house, the mom even says it. And I agree with mommy, okay? I agree with her. She's like, why doesn't he come to the door? And she's like, because then it wouldn't be Jerry.
Oh, and I was like, oh.
And I was like, girl, I've been there. I have been there. I feel you. I've dated enough guys like that to know. It wouldn't be
because if
blank.
he did, it wouldn't be Jerry. It's like, oh.
It was funny to me. Like, I was like, oh,
I know.
I've been there. And then the fact that, at the end of the film, she's like chasing. I was like, story of my life, chasing men that are now good for me. Like, I was like, okay.
And here is, how does this movie relate back to Ivy's tragic story?
Never date deadbeats or people that make you open your own door. And scene.
So how did this movie remind you of your childhood, Ivy?
Oh, let me tell you, the fact that you're dating someone that your parents do not approve of, and then again, chasing them around, like, because you just can't control them, but you want to help them. You want to change them, Marco. You want to change them.
At least if they had improved his acting.
Maybe he's a better director than an actor.
They were just not good actors. At least
His roommate was a horrible
him
actor.
and his roommate, yeah, the Johnny Cash look-alike.
Yes, no,
I
he
couldn't get-
reminded me of James Dean, like
So it's like
Accent,
it's like a
James
mixture
Dean.
of James Dean and Johnny Cash.
Yes.
Because like the hair was too Johnny Cash. It was like too puffy to be James Dean, but he didn't look cool enough to be James Dean. You know, it was
No.
like closer to like Johnny Cash kind of face. But he wanted to be not Jimmy Dean's.
Jimmy Dean's. Are you hungry, Marco? I got some in the fridge. I got Jimmy Dean's
He wanted-
sandwiches.
Like,
You
you
want
can tell
some?
he was trying to be, rebel without a cause, but he really comes out looking more like Johnny Cash.
He had no clue what he was
But
doing.
it was just bad acting.
Actually,
At least he could emote. Like at the end, he kind of like gives a couple of lines with like feeling like, please don't call the cops on him. He's my roommate.
I would have. Okay, Marco, we've been roommates, and I'm gonna tell you now. If you killed someone, I'd be like,
No, he
"Oh,
hadn't killed anyone. That's when like they were gonna call the cops on him for choking the girl.
Okay,
Which still is like, you should have called the cops
either
when
way.
he choked. But either way, but at least at that point, he showed a little bit of range.
Okay,
the
I
Johnny
hope we
Cash
watched
dude.
the same movie because I'm still hooked on the fact that he was not a good actor at all.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was the one scene where he showed a little bit of emotion.
The one scene out of all
Yeah.
the longer scenes
but
of this film.
But the other actor just, oh god.
You know what part I actually really did like?
All the
though?
women were good.
No.
All the women kind of had a little bit of like acting experience from what I could tell.
Not dancing, obviously, but yeah.
No, but just the acting part.
But no, like it's so weird
Well,
because it
maybe
was
not the first dancer that they killed. She couldn't.
Which one? Oh,
the one that goes to
the dance.
The dancer that has
Yeah.
a drinking problem. I was like, of course she has.
I was like, I relate.
She was.
Don't drink on the job.
She learned how to, do the dance move, where where the dancer just kind of
You know what that scene reminded me of though? The
dirty dancing.
No. So okay, so the one we're talking about is the girl that she's a dancer. She's performing at I guess a club, like
Yeah,
outside the carnival. It's not in the carnival.
They
but
call it a nightclub.
yeah,
which in the
she was
60s it makes
performing,
sense.
and you mentioned she has a drinking problem, and her boss is like, "You need to stop taking that stuff," and blah blah blah. And she gets like super wasted, and she performs, and she's dancing, and she's laughing. It actually reminds me like of my drunken nights. Yeah, like when I'm with you and we're like out, and I start dancing, you're like, Ivy, no, Ivy.
Segment 2 of how does this movie relate to your life, Ivy?
Don't drink and dance, guys, because it will turn out horribly.
No, you just drink too much and decide to go dancing.
I do. I love to dance
Even
even
if
sober.
it's not really a dancing place.
Yeah, I tend to do that a lot. I make any bar into a nightclub.
Even if it's not a bar, like where did she even find
Applebee's.
the alcohol?
Applebee's has alcohol. But anyway. Oh, so the one thing that I actually really liked about this film, but it was so small, is
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Is the comic relief, I guess, of the comedian that pops up every now and then at the nightclub. Remember, he was like telling jokes. I guess he's like the host of the nightclub.
Oh, the one that asked that other girl on a date before she got killed.
No. This is like the nightclub where the first victim
Oh,
dies.
yeah.
And
He
it's
came
like
out like 2 or 3 times.
yeah, like 2 or 3 times. I liked it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it's like he has I think he was an actual comedian.
Yeah, because he made a funny joke about, what did he say? My wife said I need to stop drinking. And then he's like, so my wife told me I need to stop drinking. It's either her or the drinking. So I don't know how to tell her I'm letting her go. It was something like, I was like, bro, that's hilarious. I love it. And then it cuts to the next thing. I was like, I want more of that guy.
Yeah, it should have just been a
I
comedy
know.
special.
But that's like the one thing I liked.
That's sad. when the best thing you remember about this movie
It's a small little
is that
scene.
one cutaway with
Yeah.
the comedian.
But he was funny. It reminded me like of those late night shows when they have like the, what is it, like the 10-minute segments of like random comedians they throw on.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
That's what it reminded me
instead
of.
when they throw in a comedian instead of like a musical act.
Yeah, it's like a comedian. I like watching those because most of those comedians are funny.
Yeah, they're usually funny. That's why I used to like to go to open mics. No, not open comedy nights
Oh, okay, yeah.
here in town. It was always the same comedians. It didn't really matter which comedy night you went to here in town, because it's always the same local comedians unless they bring someone in.
True.
But yeah, that guy had a funny joke here or two. Yep, I guess he just showed up like twice in the movie.
Oh, and then there's one more thing that I remembered.
Is this trivia?
It's trivia.
Trivia with Ivy.
Boom. All right, so if you haven't seen it, I'm going to slap you across the face.
Huh?
Men in Tights. Remember Men in Tights? The comedy movie.
Yes.
Okay. Remember the guy with the mole?
Yes.
I forgot his name, but he's the one that wants to be the new king, right?
Yeah, his name is Mallman.
That was his name? Wow, that was kind of dumb. That's kind of simple.
He's the inspiration for Mallman in The Simpsons.
Okay, well, that guy.
I don't know.
So
I
one
just
of
made all that up.
like the kind of the goofs that they do in Men in Tights is his mole. If you notice,
Changes
it
place,
changes
right?
places. They actually did that for this film too,
Oh,
with
with
the
the
fortune
girl.
teller. Her mole moves everywhere. Like that was kind of like their joke, I guess. I was like, well, it's a really stupid joke,
Yeah,
but it's
because it
I
just
guess.
makes the movie
Yeah, I
even
mean,
worse.
I was just like, well, okay. But that was actually a fun little trivia that I
Oh, okay.
read about.
You know what's weird? That the psychic woman that makes all the men into
The
zombies,
fortune teller.
The fortune teller. At first, on the first scene, I really thought she looked like Elizabeth Taylor.
Right?
But then, I remember this was in the 60s.
Yeah.
So it's like, of course it's not Elizabeth. She looked like Elizabeth Taylor, a little older than in the 60s.
Like if this was like the Christmas Carol and Elizabeth Taylor was like young and what is it, like Christmas Future?
Yeah, but for the 60s, Elizabeth Taylor still looked younger than her.
Yeah.
But she definitely looked like Elizabeth Taylor, but with like a big mole
mole.
on the side and like a bad wig.
Yeah, that's the way that you would get Elizabeth Taylor to kind of like change her ways in the future, where Christmas Future will take her and be like, look, if you don't quit now, this is what you're going to look like.
And these are the type of movies you'll be doing.
And this is the type of movies you'll be doing.
Forget Cleopatra. As you should. Ooh, I'm kidding.
No, she was cute in that one. Oh, what you
I
talking
don't
about?
remember Cleopatra. I don't think I've ever seen the whole thing.
Oh, no. I think we have to have another movie night.
No. Isn't Cleopatra like 4 hours long or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's still good, though.
Oof. It's hard for me.
Wow.
This is why I've only ever seen like 2 Bollywood movies.
I love Bollywood movies,
They're
though.
like 5 hours long, FYI.
Okay, so overall,
So yeah, if you want to see a movie that makes no sense but has Elizabeth Taylor look-alike with a very funny comedy guy, this
a
is the
bad
movie for you.
accent James Dean.
My God, man. Even the like the costumes that
I'm telling you,
that
he
those two
looked-
guys had.
Yeah.
Because he had like a very colorful James Dean apparel with like the cool jacket, but instead of leather jacket, it was like yellow.
Rebel without a cause.
But it was yellow, the yellow version.
Yeah, the color scheme
It was
wasn't
like,
great.
oh. Or if not, it was like super blue. And then Jerry just had like a shirt.
But Jerry was like rebel. Okay, I'm defending this guy for no
It was
reason.
just like, it was just, but yeah, at least change it to something more interesting for the movie.
Yeah.
Like, or for like the other days, because this is supposed to happen within a 2 or 3 day span. Like, come on.
But overall,
But yeah, I mean, this is one more time. If you like to watch bad movies that are so bad they're in the list of worst movies ever made,
This is your
This
film.
is one of them for you.
So in our Black Frame ranking scale from good, bad, so bad that it's good, what would you rate this?
I just call it bad.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you're
There's
right. I
very
rated it
few
bad.
things that I
Bad.
would say like they're so bad it makes it good. Because it's not that watchable.
No. I get lost a lot. If I get lost in a movie,
Like
I don't
at
want to
least
watch
if
it.
he was filled with those hooky like stupid one-liners,
Yeah.
then maybe. But you only get those one-liners at the beginning of the movie. It wouldn't be Jerry. He wouldn't be. If
Why
he did,
doesn't he come
wouldn't
to
be
the front
Jerry.
door? Because then it wouldn't be Jerry.
Yeah, like you only get those ones at the beginning of the movie. Then once everything goes south for the main character, you don't hear those one-liners.
I'm gonna start
anymore.
using that line now, though.
It wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be blank. Or the world is my college. That's my favorite one.
Oh yeah, and I've heard that. I've heard the line before as a joke. Was like they use it for different things, but yeah, like
Well, that's my new line.
yeah, because Jerry asked the brother, "How's college going?" And then the brother goes, "Good. You should try it sometime." And then the brother goes,
Nah, the world is my college.
"Yeah." It's like, oh, it's so cringy.
I'm gonna start using it. I'm gonna put it on a T-shirt and everything.
What I did like is in the credits, the face they have, and it's the same face you see in the posters. I like that.
Yeah, that. And did you
That's, like,
notice
cool.
it's like transforming?
Yeah, because the credits take so long.
I know.
The face changes.
I was like,
But
bro,
again,
change already.
That's the only time you ever see a transformation happen. Mm-hmm. In the movie,
Again, not real
no one
zombies.
transforms into a zombie.
There's
There
no brains.
are zombies, but you see them at the end when they escape.
Yeah, but there's no like brain eating zombies. These are like zombies that like come at you and attack you. Pretty much like if you were to go to a bar and you see like a drunken fight, that's what it looked like.
True. Although you know what, this is the funny part. When I started watching it, and based on like the posters and stuff, I really thought this was gonna be like pretty much the same movie as that movie that you made me watch with Keanu Reeves and that other guy from
Oh,
Bill and
Ted, Bill and Ted.
the one that we made an episode for,
Woo. Ooh, I don't remember.
where he has all the prosthetics.
Oh, freaked.
Yeah, I really thought it was gonna be the same. I really thought this guy was gonna get in trouble, but instead of just being hypnotized, I thought he was gonna get transformed into that hideous thing from the poster.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
And then he was gonna be stuck in the carnival doing people's bidding as a zombie.
That would have been interesting if they did that.
That's what it looked like it was gonna happen, which is why I really thought it was gonna end up like freak.
I'm always gonna say
Because
it that way.
It was that guy, the main guy, plus a friend and a girlfriend, which
Yeah.
is the same thing as freaked. It's like, oh, they're all gonna end up becoming monsters like I'm freaked.
That's probably where they got the inspiration.
Freaked?
Freaked. You gotta
Freaked.
say it like that.
Freaked.
Because then you're just saying freaked, freaked, freaked. You need to say it with enthusiasm.
Well, I have to remember the title of the movie first.
But yeah,
yeah.
I agree with you. It's a bad movie. Not even so bad it's good. It's
But I
bad.
think what we will be doing to spice this season up is I think we're just gonna go through the list of worst movies of all time. And I think that's what we should do. Just
I'm down for that.
go through the list.
Watch me find something I like. Like, I'm going to probably like
Here's
them
the thing,
all.
though. I went through the list, at least the list you would find on Wikipedia.
Right.
I've seen a number of them. There's more than a handful of them that I've seen and that I like.
See, I'm the same way.
Especially because like it goes by decades,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot more like worst movies of all time in the more recent decades. But there's a lot of movies that everyone knows they're bad, but that we all love. So it's like, yeah, I guess it's one of those bad movies, but I still like it.
I'm down
So
to
yeah,
do
I
it,
think
though.
I think that's what's gonna be season 2, for the most part, until we get tired of it.
Probably won't.
But yeah, but either way, I think that's it.
I know.
That's
That's a
episode
wrap.
1 of season 2. Not a wrap.
Well-
That would be at the end of the season.
Oh, yeah, huh? I don't know. But that was cool. I can't wait for the next episode. Again, we'll let you guys know what we do next. We're trying to be more consistent.
Yeah, and expand into something else.
but we'll let you know when that happens. But yes, Marco, I
Yeah.
typically let go of this podcast.
Okay. Oh, I thought you wanted to let go again.
No, this
Okay.
is your turn. This is your
Okay.
season, fool. This
It's
is
my
all
season.
you.
Okay. That's why this season will be consistent.
Oh God.
But okay, so thank you so much for tuning in again for yet another season of Black Frame, the podcast. Stay tuned for upcoming news and
Episodes.
updates and episodes
Updates.
because things are afoot in the Black Frame Studios. That's what we call in where we are.
Did you say Bigfoot?
Black Frame Studios.
Oh, I heard Bigfoot. I don't know
Oh,
why.
big things are afoot.
Oh, I just know because you like Bigfoot a lot. Okay.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
If only when I kiss someone that's not you. It hurts when I embrace and smile because I know all the while it's not you. I was pretending that our ending was just one of those things, and now I'm dropping to hide the tears that will If only when I touch someone new, someone that's not you. It hurts because the touch is cold, and to the one I hold is you. But they get worse, and it just